Welcome back, everybody, to Iowa Plains View. I am Deuce Mess. This is the Farmer Deuce YouTube channel if you're watching later. If not, welcome over on Twitch. If you want to catch us live, it's twitch.tv/Deuce Mess. Go down below in the links. You can find all of my links on Linktree. And go follow everywhere. No, FSN is not ready. I should have looked at the actual harvest and planting schedule. It is the end of May, and we can harvest at the beginning of June. We could also plant soybeans at the beginning of June on that map. So we'll be doing that as well. We're gonna get these cows fed real quick. And the chickens probably. Welcome back. Maybe give them some straw too. We need to take some milk out of this. This one here. Yeah, so they need some straw. They need feed. All that kind of stuff. We're going to get all that done. And then we're going to sell some money beans because it's money bean selling day, and I cannot wait to go make some of that good money. But right now, we need to get feed and straw and everything else to all the animals. And then after that, we'll sell the beans. After that, if we have time, we'll start picking up some of the solids bales because they're about ready. You can see our canola here. Is that canola? What is that? What did we plant? I don't even remember what we planted over here. I'm not going to lie. Barley. Yeah, our barley's getting there too, so that's good. Welcome everybody in live chat. Bob, how's it going? Mitch, how's it going? Chicken Chow coming back in with that 4 months of Twitch Prime sub. Using that Twitch Prime here when you could use it anywhere else on Twitch. You chose the crappiest place you could find. I appreciate you. Hearts and Plungers and Golden TP around for Bob for 51 months and for Chicken Chow for 4 months using that Twitch Prime sub. Appreciate you. Heck yeah. Mitch said, probably jump on tomorrow. Jump on whenever. The server's always running. So anytime you want to jump on and play multiplayer, we could definitely use the help. There's a lot going on. We're about to have like 1,000 cows on there. So feel free. Jump on whenever. I'm going to be, so either later tonight or tomorrow morning, I'm probably going to drop the server for a little while and do some updates on the mods and then add a couple of mods. So we add a cow trailer and a cow pen so that if we want more cows, we don't have to just keep buying pens. We can just buy one that's 1,000. So yeah, we're gonna be adding quite a few to the roster there. So should be good though. Should be good. Give us plenty of cows to work with. Be nice. Pull up here and get some feed, and hopefully they take all this. And we'll stop it short just to make sure we can get it all out of the trailer. Because I'm going to need the trailer. Anything in the sell page? I forgot we skipped days here. Oh man, there's an 8RT in there. I don't know if we want the 8RT though. It's only got 458 horsepower. It's still more than the case we have, but it's less than the, well, more than the Massey, less than the case. I don't think it's warranted right this second. It would be nice to have a third tractor, but I don't think it's warranted right now. I think when we buy field 3, 2, and 1, we'll definitely need more tractors. By then, we'll have more cows. We'll probably be able to have more help by then, too, so that'd be good. I think we can wait. I don't think that'll be an issue. But yeah, I should have looked at the actual planting, harvesting schedule a bit closer for the Farm Sim Network because it's getting there. It's not quite there yet. We got one more day we can harvest, and then we'll actually, because we planted winter crop, we'll be able to harvest and then turn around and plant soybeans. So I was right the other day when I said we'd be able to harvest and plant. But I'm not going to be doing it tomorrow. I'll just be on the multiplayer server, and then if I can carve out some time on Saturday, I'll probably do it then because I think I'll still be able to plant. I need to jump back on there and double check because if not, I'm going to have to jump on there tomorrow instead of the multiplayer server because it's got to be done whenever it's got to be done. So I'll have to wait and see. I'll double check tonight to make sure of when we're doing what. Yeah, I'll double check tonight to make sure when is what. And I just thought about this. Hopefully it takes all. I should have put about 20 in there, but maybe they take all this feed. I don't know that they will. Hopefully so. I know they're both going to need more straw. Straw for this one is not too bad. It does take a little bit of an effort, but now we got a bigger telehandler, which was a great purchase, by the way. I'm not too upset about it. That should just be the floor. Go. I don't know. It might take all this between the two. Hopefully it does. Hopefully it uses all 22,000 left. I don't know. That's gonna be cutting it close there, I think. Ooh, got a little loosey-goosey there on two wheels. Careful now. Careful. I have to go find the telehandler. I think it's down at the other place down there because we were moving pallets or something around. Yeah, these guys are just slap out of straw here. Check them again. Well, they get 16,000. That's not a lot, though. And these guys are going to need at least 2 bales. Ah, crap, it didn't take it all. Well, that's a pain, isn't it? Because I don't have anywhere to put this now. What if I can put it in the barn right here? Let's see. Gotta love them stubby-nosed trucks, man. Oh, it will not take it there, huh? It will not take it. Dump in the silo. I don't know if it'll take it in the silo, though. This may not be a take-all silo there, Bob. And realistically, you wouldn't put this in your grain silo anyway. So, even if it takes it, I'm liable not to use it. I'm liable not to put it in there. Just because it's not very realistic. Yep, won't take it anyway. All right, well, I know what we're doing with it. It's just going to take me a little longer to get them to feed. You're on the same map. How do you get manure? Put cows in your barn and put straw in there with them. I think it's straw. Is straw for manure or straw for slurry? I can't remember. So yeah, this is probably not the most ideal, but this is what's about to happen. We're about to back up and just dump that on the ground right back there. Actually, you know what? Because it's stinky old TMR, I'm gonna put it on this side over here, I think.
That's a new follower.
We're gonna put it right here, I think, because it's stinky old TMR. Make it straight, I guess. There we go. We'll run this cruise down. And Justin, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. Welcome. There we go. I needed the trailer. So we got the trailer. All right, let's go. We'll go set this under the silo down here and then grab the telehandler and go move some stuff around. We'll probably, actually, you know what? We're going to hold up right here. That way we can get the chicken feed too. What's up, Celtic Moon? Had the page open and ready, but didn't hear you start. Yeah, no problem. No problem. I mean, you know how I know how it goes too. It's all good. Man, look at that Manitou. Oh, that thing right there is nice. Heck yeah. See if we got any eggs over here we can move around. Only 83 in Michigan. It's only 88 here, man. It feels pretty good here today. Which is kind of weird, but hey, you know, I'm not going to argue with good weather. I'm just sad this wasn't last weekend, because boy, was it hot last weekend for me. Then it rained on and off, had constant threat of weather last weekend. We were outside at a festival too. Alright, there we go. Just drop that off right there. Go grab our... This one doesn't have the same problem of trying to flip over either with that weight on the back. It handles it a lot better, which is good because that's what we need. Nothing in there. Man, this big one's nice. Yeah, that bucket was like twice the width of the old telehandler we had for the longest. And I think that's the one that Bob mentioned this. I think that's the one. I think he's right. I think that's the one we started with, which is kind of crazy how far we've come now. Also, that was max height, like right there for the other one. This one will go all the way. I don't think it should go that far. That's kind of weird. Wheat. Yes, fill her up. Let's see if we can get us a bigger bucket for this thing too. Probably can't get one for the telehandler. That's probably it. So, 106 out in Arizona, which is about right for middle of July. I don't think that's too out of the ordinary, right? Probably got a 15 or 20% humidity. Again, probably not too out of the ordinary for you guys. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. I figure 100 is probably reasonable for middle of July for Arizona. Go ahead and fill that bad boy all the way up. What's up, J-Rock? How's it going, buddy? Good to see you. Yeah, if you're on Iowa, I think straw either gives you slurry or it gives you manure. I can't remember, but there's a manure pit right there next to the cow pen. It's built into the map. So you should be getting manure if you're just filling the cows up with everything you need. In theory, anyway. All right, there we go. We'll just leave that there. So we can grab our forks. Interesting approach to fill the bucket. I mean, you know, you turn the blowers on, you turn them off real quick. It's all good. Again, that's probably one of those things I allow myself that's not realistic, but hey, you know, what do you do? What do you do? I think I'm just going to leave these forks down here because I don't think we're going to need them up there as much since we don't have the lettuce anymore. I think setting them here is probably fine now because we're not doing anything else with them, so we'll just run up and grab my stack of lime back there about to fall over, it looks like. Fertilizer. I think it's granule fertilizer. Whatever it is, looks like it's about to fall over. Very creative. I mean, it works, man. The bucket takes up the whole opening there. You know, so I don't see it as a problem. I don't think so anyway. Let's see. I could grab a couple of bales at a time if I do this the other way, but I like this bale grab because the bales don't stick on it at all. Like they just do what they're supposed to, which is nice. So yeah, there we go. Let's see if we can get some of these off the top here. These are kind of in a weird way here. Let's see if we can. Yeah, there we go. Now I may use the bale forks to drop those bales over there and use those big square bales for that, because I got to use these round bales for this one. So I'm gonna stop using them that way. And again, at some point, oh crap, we need the Massey over here. At some point, I'm going to pick up another Heston baler just for straw bales. Because these 120 and 150 bales are really small. Those Heston bales are great, and I won't need to wrap them, so I won't need the Heston bale wrapper or anything. Although, thinking about it, I'm going to have soybean straw, right? Yeah, so I'm going to have to see if I can get Ray to modify that baler again for soybean straw on here, because soybean straw on this map is different than regular straw. On most maps, if you have soybean straw, it's just the same straw. On here, it's not. So I would have to get Ray to modify that baler again for me. Probably cost me $500 or so. Okay. Drop that right there. Put this guy in there. Yeah, look how much bigger this Manitou is than that other one, man. It's almost the same size as the Massey there, which is crazy. Because that other telehandler we had was not near this size. Hey, that worked out pretty well. All right, I know we're going to need another, so I'm just going to go ahead and go grab one. We're going to need at least probably 3 bales for this. I'm sure he'd give you a good price. Probably. Yeah, probably. So J-Rock, I decided against the big trailers since it's going to be such a big issue for the cows for Dairyland. I'm just going to get that 32 trailer off of Mod Hub. It's better than 12, you know, and that's what we got right now is 12. Oh, crap. Grab it, dummy. Yep. It's better than 12, and that's what we got right now. So I think we're just going to go with that. And do that. I'll ask again, do you have a list or just a really good memory where we all live? I try to just remember. And Celtic Moon, we've never really talked a whole lot about where Celtic Moon's from, but she did tell me the last time we had that conversation, and it's West Texas. So I just remember really random things, Bob. That's pretty much the extent of it. I just remember really, really random things. Honestly. You did try it yet? No, I didn't even try it because of all of the stuff you would have to do to make it work. Did you already mod that, J-Rocket, or were you just giving me an example of it? Because if you've already done it, then we'll try it. I just don't know that our trucks will be able to pull it. If you can't eliminate the mass, you know. And there's no way to update mass to 0? Like, there's no way to do that, I guess? I mean, honestly, that sounds about right. Like, why would that be possible, you know? Why would we be able to do that? Uh-oh. Hang on. There we go. You sent me the whole file. Oh, okay. I thought you sent me an example of why it would be hard to do. Yeah, if you sent me the file, then if you've already done it, dude, I would hate to disrespect your modding abilities and not try it. So yeah, I'll put it on there. We'll give it a go. We'll see how it works. I have faith in you, buddy. I've seen your mods. I know how good they are. So I'll give it a go. See if the weight can pull it. Most likely, there's only 32 because of the weight. It's just crazy that you can't update the mass on those things, though. That seems kind of weird. You'd think you'd be able to, if we can squeeze in right there. Almost perfect. Let's see if we can do a little flip here without taking the door out. It stayed. I don't know how, but it stayed. All right. Well, we'll let that ride. We'll go ahead and drop this guy. Actually, you know what? While we're here, we'll just do this. It's easier. Hey, we got it to stay in there. Nice. All right. Shredding them up. New audiobook called Red Gambit. A sci-fi by Luke R. Mitchell. Huh. Okay, then. Not sure why John's didn't allow for being able to use that update mass for animal trailers. That does seem weird, doesn't it? Oh, they're full. Okay, I thought for sure they'd need another. That's all right. Let's pull this straight out here out of the way. There we go. And we're gonna go ahead and let Jimmy drive this down to the other to the grass field down there, because we're gonna need this to pick up bales anyway. So have at it, Jimmy. Have at it there, buddy. We'll go grab the telehandler and probably the forks and just move them that way. I know it's a little more difficult because they try to stick onto the forks and stuff, but I think it'll be all right. There you go. I like this Manitou, man. This thing looks good. Imagine having that big hydraulic steel beam next to you right there. That'd be kind of nerve-wracking, wouldn't it? It makes me nervous. I'm not even driving the thing for real. Go. 100 cows, it's hard to pull if you don't have your truck to pull it. I mean, I think, honestly, them going a little slower would still be better than making 21 trips, which is what they have to do right now. You know, I think Crystal and Gabe both would be happier with making fewer trips a bit slower than having to make 21, which is, again, what they're having to do right now. All right, now before, we struggled picking up 3 bales. Let's try this. Oh, like it's nothing. Be very careful with them here. Like nothing, man. Yeah, we needed this bigger telehandler. This is nice. And I'm pretty sure we're going to need all 3 of these bales. Even if we drop one, we'll come back. I do miss these Heston bales, though. Look how big those puppies are. Need to get us another Heston baler. Hopefully one pops up in the store. That'd be ideal. Oh, maybe they updated that, because that went pretty smooth right there. All right, how much more straw do they need? I thought that was Jimmy right there. I was like, how'd you get into the store? What are you doing down there, Jimmy? Let's see, cows. They could use. I can put one more bale in there, but they're pretty full. I think we'll throw one more bale in. And then we'll probably go take out some milk after we sell the soybeans and stuff too. I don't know that we'll sell the milk. We'll take it out. We'll set one more bale. You know what? We'll go ahead and set 2 more in there. I think that'll be okay too. We got some hay and grass down here as well. Let me see if I can just. I'm just gonna square this up a bit here. Yeah, that actually worked pretty well. Okay, I guess maybe something fixed itself or something on me. I don't know. I'm going to grab it by the end. Then I'm actually going to move it over to the other forks on the other side there. I want to be able to just set it down in there and drive off. Well, maybe not. Maybe I spoke too soon. Oh, no, it's coming. Okay, there we go. That may have been my fault. That may have been a driver error there. I want to grab it from this way, I think. Oh, I can set it as close to the rail as I can get it out of the way of the food. Big boys, yes sir. These Heston bales, man, I miss them, dude. I miss them for straw for sure, because straw takes up a lot, you know. Yeah, I just want to be able to set them down in here, up against the rail there. There we go. If it doesn't take them both, that's fine. Or move them over. Out of the way of the trailer. There we go. Alright, straw's taken care of, chicken's taken care of. I've got some TMR on the ground back there. It'll take me a few buckets full, but I think it'll be okay. I think that'll be fun. I wonder, can we pick up four bales we could not pick up with the other telehandler? I'm just gonna do this real quick, just see if we can pick them up. Watch me like make them explode or something now. It's gonna make a mess and go everywhere. Well, we can lift 4. Oh, yep, that's what I was afraid of. Getting stuck on them now. That's the only thing I don't like about these forks is once the bale gets stuck, it's just kind of there. Easy. Yeah. Maybe it's because I had it too low. I'm not real sure. It's very possible, actually, that it was operator error more than anything else. All right. Sweet. We'll just leave this right here for now. I don't think we're going to need it for anything else at the moment. It can be pulled. Okay, as long as it can be pulled, I'm fine with it. All right, what do we do with the truck? We leave it down here? Yeah, we did. I don't know why I even asked. I knew exactly where we left it. I said I was leaving it down here. Money beans. Money beans. Heck yeah, I know where we're going already, too. We're going to Jackson's Farm down here because it's the closest, and the price is a little bit better there than it is over in town. I'm not sending it to Ravenport. I'd rather keep it in the community and let Jackson's Farm make some money off of it, too. Yeah, see, this only holds 39,000. We need a lot bigger trailer. We need that Super B, that double. I imagine it holds a lot more than this one does. Yeah, I imagine it's going to hold a lot more. Yeah, so as long as it'll pull it, man, I think it's fine. The trucks we got have like 600 horsepower, so I think that's okay too. So I told you guys I ordered an extra key light air so I could get even lighting instead of having the light right in front of me hitting me in the face the whole time. I was having trouble getting it to connect to the network, and then I worked on that through lunch, and normally I start streaming on YouTube at lunch, and I was like, well, I guess I'm not streaming on YouTube today because I spent most of my time working on that. So I did get 2 weekends of Dredge recorded though, so that's good. At least I was productive today. I may not have streamed on YouTube, but I was productive. Next week, though, back on Medieval Dynasty, we're going to do some decorating on the Season 4 village. And then I don't really have any regular games that I play other than Medieval Dynasty, but I still want to get a sub 90, a sub 60 minute only up run. So I think I might try to get Live Split working over the weekend and try to do a sub hour run on only up next week, one day. Just one day though, I'm not going to keep doing it. 4486 plus 5,000, so we got 50,000 out of that. Yeah, 50,000 out of 39,000. That's pretty good. I don't know how many loads of 39,000 we're going to have, but I know we're about to make some change. Heck yeah. About to make some of that good bean money. And we do have 2 big fields of soybeans planted again, so should make some more bean money. Am I excited for Medieval multiplayer? I'm excited to see how it works. I would be really excited when I know how it works. But yeah, so far I'm okay with it. Yeah. I just want to see how it works out. You know, like how do you manage that with multiple people in there with you? So I'm excited to see how it works. I'll say that, I guess. Yeah, I'm not excited for it until I figure out how it works first. But yeah, I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be fun. $190,000 left after this load. Yeah, we've got to get a new trailer, guys. It's got to happen. We're not pulling near enough weight here. That one only holds 51. The 3-in-1 is great for hauling TMR, but we really need this Load King, the Super B. $138,000. I mean, we could go get it, but that takes away a lot of money. I think we'll just try to wait until we have like a couple of more barns down for the cows, and then you know, we're not actively waiting to buy something we desperately need, like the cow barns, because we're out of room for cows. They're all full now. We'll buy it after we're not actively waiting to put money on something which we already kind of have in store right now. So. But our new cow barns are going to go right here in the big field. We're going to lose our big field here, which means I'm probably going to have to buy field 14 at some point, but we'll get there too. I'm not too worried about it. 4.85 loads left. Nice. What's up, Ethan? How's it going? Good to see you. But yeah, I think a multiplayer with some other content creators maybe would be fun. Just to kind of get everybody's side of it, you know, whether they stream it or record it or whatever. I know me and Battery have already talked about playing, so I don't know if. So I know NAS. I didn't get my. I wanted to get my 7 Days to Die recorded this morning, but I didn't. I know NAS is playing on the 7 Days to Die server, and he's looking forward to the co-op mode to try it out. So I don't know if he'd be interested in doing it too, but I think you can play up to 4 people, so you get one more person in there, 2 more people in there, 1 more person, or 2 more people if NAS doesn't want any part of it. That's fine too. I think it could be really fun depending on how it works, depending on how the multiplayer works. So. Tired Iron modding JD Turbo Titans are pending on Giants Mod Hub. What are those? Are they tractors? Are they harvesters? What are they? There's another 50 grand. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Easy, fella. Easy. All good. We got it. We're smooth sailing. As long as I keep it between the ditches, we're fine. Or the light poles in the ditch in this matter. Have I seriously already been streaming for 30 minutes? Wow, dude, it feels like I just got started. I just looked over at the clock and I was like, what happened? Combines from the 70s and 80s. Nice. Okay, cool. Cool, cool. I mean, that might give me an idea. I mean, honestly, it gives me an idea for that map I want to build. I want to build a Mississippi Delta map. Not Mississippi River Delta, not that map, but the actual Delta in Mississippi. Or maybe a tri-state thing where you have Arkansas Delta, the Louisiana Delta, the northern part of Louisiana, and then Mississippi. And then have like the Mississippi River running through the middle of the map or something. I think that'd be really, really cool to do. Where you had like 2 big bridges to cross, because that's pretty much all there is in the Delta. There's one down in Lula, Mississippi. And there's one up toward Tunica somewhere. And there's one further down south, of course, but there's only like 3 or 4 places to cross in Mississippi. I mean, of course, you can go all the way up to Memphis. That'd be kind of hard to include, but that'd be fun to include like southern Tennessee there, Memphis into Arkansas too. But yeah, I think a Delta map would be a lot of fun. There's a lot of little towns over there that would have to be built, maybe kind of outside the map or something. But I think to do it right, it'd have to be a 4X, and I've never built a map at all, so. I don't know. Maybe it's too much of an undertaking for somebody that's never built a map. Yeah, it'd have to be a 4X just due to the river, for sure. I mean, the river would be like half a regular map if we built it to scale, and it would have to be large, just so it looks right. And I don't know how to do bridges, so. It would have to be a really wide river just so it looks like the Mississippi River here around the Delta area. So another 50 grand. Every load's 50,000. 44.9. Oh, the price is going up. I thought we were about done. Although it is just the first day. I'm going to lose a couple $100 because I'm selling early, but I'd rather sell early than miss the high sell point. So, but the price went from 49 or 44.8 to 44.9. So it went up about $50. It's not bad. J-Rock, you're up. I mean, if anybody was going to do it, it would be J-Rock. But he's already said that building maps for 22 is really, really, really different and difficult compared to 19. So one reason I haven't downloaded Giants Editor and started on it yet, honestly. That's all you need, right? It's Giants Editor. And you pretty much have all the tools that they have. That's right. Like, I'd want to do some custom signs like Tunica so far, you know, that kind of stuff too. Like billboards with the horseshoe or something on it. Because up around 55 goes to the Delta over there. And then, I don't, Highway 9 or whatever it is. No, it's not 9. It'd be a, Highway 1, Highway 6, whatever it is that's over there that runs right down the river. I'd have to look because I don't know. I'm not super familiar with all the small highways over there. Like, I know how to drive it. I just don't know what the highway is. I'd have to look and see, but I want to do all that, you know, all that kind of stuff. You had Giants Editor. Thought the brain was gonna melt. Oh yeah, what's happening? Oh, got hung up there a minute, huh? Yeah, we need those Super Bees. They're making 14 trips. We could make 3. What's up, Pizza Hut? How's it going? Chicken Chow, the community server we're playing on, Dairyland. That's J-Rock's map, yeah. He sure does. What's up, Jeremy? How's it going, buddy? Good to see you. But yeah, he sure does make maps. Yeah, no, this reason I want to go up to the Super B target is it'll hold more overall, and it's still based on weight, but those trailers are rated for a lot more. So I'd end up holding probably 55 or so with the Super Bs instead of 39, which again would be pretty helpful. That would cut out like 2 whole trips down here probably. Been one of those days. I understand, Chicken Chow. No need to explain it to me. Yeah, because we're traveling based on weight. We went up like another $20 right then. Yeah, we're gonna miss a couple $100, maybe a couple $1,000 total. But I don't want to miss it by working on something else and forgetting about it either. So we're about to go sell some silage bales too, because I'm not gonna put them all in the barn. Put about half of them in there. Oh, I still gotta take some milk out of these guys down here. Don't let me forget that. I'm gonna forget, but hopefully I don't. A little awkward getting in that turn there. Probably need to get that leveled out so I'm coming into the drive there, but I don't want to mess up the road itself going into the field road. I'm just happy we were able to get enough gravel in to put down a field road there next to that. Need to do it on the other side too. We're going to need that access once we start throwing cows over there. So I don't know what we're hanging up on. Not sure. That's okay though. We got one set of tires touching. 112 left. 4 more trips. There might be a little bit left. We'll run 3 more trips, and if there's any left, we'll leave it. Oh, no, we won't either, because it's 40, 80, 120. Yeah, there'll be about 3,000 left. We may leave it in there, though. Need to get all this repaired here, I think. Time to repair it all. We'll drive down there and get fuel in our little fuel trailer that we'll never have to fill up again. No more spending money on fuel since we spent like 50 grand on it. Plus the cost of the trailer. Making big money today. This is what we've been waiting on right here. Yeah, this is what we've been waiting on. Sale day for the soybeans. One more year like this, we'll be able to buy us another big cow pen, probably one of them automated rigs. $575,000. But I cannot wait. Battery, what's up, buddy? So glad today is over. I know somebody else is gonna think that too when she's done today. Miss Deuce, she's doing inventory audits. Ugh. Hey, we're up to 45,000 now, plus the 5,200 extra. Yeah, we should have waited. Should have waited to sell this. Yeah, just Dairyland. Yeah. But yeah, you have made a map. We're currently playing on our community server. Yeah. But you have at least made a map. Yeah, J-Rock, I still want to make my Mississippi map, but do you have any basic tips to stay away from stuff if I was to start making a map? I want to make a 4X Mississippi Delta map. So Mississippi Delta, northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas, the Delta area, with the Mississippi River kind of running right down the middle. I made some yesterday. We're good for a couple days now. We just happen to not have any left, and I forgot about it. Depends on if you want it flat or not. Well, the Delta is very flat, other than the river. There'd be like, flood walls and stuff on the side of the river. That'd be about it. Yeah, it's very flat over there. Like parking curbs are hills, speed bumps. Those are mountains over in the Delta. It's very flat. What's left in there? One more load. Oh no, we're gonna have just enough. Okay, I counted that all kind of wrong. Yeah, so we'd have berms like the road right there that's in front of us. We'd have a berm like that along the river. But everywhere else would be totally flat. I just need a big, wide bridge to go across it because the river would have to be super wide to make it look realistic for the Mississippi River this far down. Because it's pretty dang wide down here. Yeah, the river's got to be in it. It's got to be right in the middle. It's got to separate Mississippi and Arkansas and Louisiana. And it's got to be wide, too. Like, if I did it, it'd be a 4X, and the river would be this wide. It would be probably from field 14 over to field 29, that's how wide it needs to be. needs to be like half of this map wide. Some not flat in the fields would be good. Well, it wouldn't be realistic if it wasn't flat though, Bob. That's what I'm saying. The delta is flat. Like there are no hills. Like maybe a little bit of terrain movement, but not like this. There's none of this in the delta. None. Like we can see the town from here, right? That's the delta. All the way across. All the way across. But I mean there is some like rolling terrain, but it's not enough to call it a hill. You know, it's a like a foot elevation change over 3 miles. You know, it's very, very flat. I would loosely base it on real world terrain. So there's a little town called Lula, Mississippi. There's a bridge that goes across into West Helena, Arkansas. So that would be like the central point of the map, basically. Or maybe like the center point of the map, but like kind of northern part of the map, probably. Because there's a lot of delta. Well, I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of delta above and below Lula. So, yeah, that would kind of be like the center point, I do believe. If I'm thinking about it, I have to pull up a map and look at it. But there's lots of little small towns and stuff you can leave out. But I think Lula, very small town. There's a bridge that goes across into Arkansas. It goes across into Helena, West Helena. That would be like the central point of the map, basically. Can you use Google Earth to get a real layout? Yeah, I kind of want to go with a realistic depiction of it, but it doesn't have to include all that, because there's a lot of little small towns, you know, all throughout there. It doesn't have to include all those, but just a couple of towns. Cleveland, where Delta State is. Lula, Mississippi, and then some of the more landmark places like Helena, Arkansas, and then northern Louisiana. I don't know how much of the delta actually runs into that, but definitely some of that too. Would the Mississippi River raise and lower for different times of the year? Oh, I don't know if that's possible. I mean, we're still talking about farm sim here. Like, I don't know if that's possible or not, but... Yeah, crawdads and rice fields, the whole nine. I mean, there'd definitely be some off, non-purchasable locations that had catfish farms, like little ponds in the ground too. Catfish farms are a big thing, so. Raising any of the water, the river would cause flooding. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Seems so semi-fictional. Yeah, semi-fictional. I mean, based on the real layout though. But yeah, semi-fictional. Like so if you pulled it up, like the river would be here, and if it's a 4X map, right, then it extends a whole nother map over this way. On the very edge of the map over here would be like Highway 55, Interstate 55, right, that goes all the way up to Memphis. And then on this side would be Arkansas, Louisiana kind of deal. Like Arkansas up top, Louisiana down bottom. And then all this would be Mississippi on this side of the river. So it's realistically a cool map, but logically I don't know what it would take to make it. Yeah, I mean, it kind of moves, but it's not really seasons change that does it, it's weather change that does it. So if like during tornado season, basically, we get a lot of rain across the Mississippi River Valley, right? Like all from north to south, all the way up and down. So the river does come up a good bit, but it, very rarely does it break the dam and flood. It did a couple years ago, and a lot of farmers over in the Delta lost their crop because it flooded everything over there. So. The idea can be done, and it would be pretty easy because, like I said, it'd be a pretty flat map except for that the flood walls and stuff along parts of the river, or just the whole river. It'd be fine too. But there would need to be like 2, maybe 3 bridges, because I don't know. I know there's one that crosses in northern Louisiana somewhere. Then there's the one in West Helena, and then there's the one in like somewhere in Tunica, or maybe you just have to go to Memphis and cross. I can't remember. But Tunica is still included in the Delta. Like, it goes up that far. And Tunica's only like 30 minutes from Memphis. Maybe 40. But it goes up pretty far. So it'd have to be a 4X for sure. Just to fit everything in there and still have enough fields to actually work. Last load of soybeans. $463,000. 39,000 for harvest income. Weren't we at? Oh no, that wasn't a full load. Never mind. I say, weren't we getting 45 a minute ago? Let's see what our total was. Go to get my phone out here. Go to the bank. So today, $308,000 in harvest income, and then the miscellaneous is our bonus we got from that. The 36,000. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, I would say. 308. Yeah, that's pretty good. 344,000. To make you a template based on Dairyland 4X, get you started on that. I mean, that'd be cool because I mean that's basically. I mean, like I said, it'd just be flat. You know, it's all flat land with a river running down the middle of it. A custom soil map. I've never even made a map. I don't even know how to put down roads in Giants Editor. I don't even know how to do roads. Roads, where we're going, we don't need roads. And that's a lot. And that's the thing too about a lot of the Delta stuff. A lot of the roads are gravel, man. Like still to this day, a lot of them are gravel in the Delta, Mississippi, anyway. But if I could figure out how to do a custom soil map, sure, absolutely. I don't know what that means, but yeah. Have you bought your new little camera yet? Which one? The GoPro camera? I have not. No, I have not bought it yet. And I need to take my other face cam off of there because I don't think my motherboard will run it. It has trouble. Like these cameras have trouble when you have too many USB things plugged in. So I need to take that off as well, actually. But yeah, I have not picked up the GoPro camera yet. Not quite yet. So. Almost forgot the milk. And then I remembered. 463,000. We're going to be bad close after this next harvest, guys, because we'll sell probably $100,000 worth of bales. Because I've still got a lot of straw over here. We might keep like 30.
That's a new follower.
I think for the most part, we're going to sell most of them, I guess. Real Duddy, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. Welcome. Hope all is well. Yeah, the GoPro, nope, I haven't bought it yet. Still just kind of waiting. I picked up one of the Key Light Airs. I needed another one just to get even lighting because I've hated the way my cameras look the last couple times we've done shooting the deuce. The Talking Tuesday. So I needed another GoPro to get even lighting. So I picked up one of those for Prime Day. And the rest of the money on PayPal is just kind of sitting there. I was going to wait till later this year maybe. So, all right, how much milk do they have left in there now? 35, 90 in that one. All right, cool. Yeah, we'll just let this sit. We'll wait till September, I think, is the best sell price for milk. Unless we have to sell it to empty more of that out. We will, but... yeah, September's when we're selling milk. There we go. What do we need to get now? Bales. I think we're down to bales now, folks. We sold all the money beans. It took us a little while to do too. Well, it took me a lot longer than I thought. when I mentioned the time, it was like 4 o'clock. It was almost 4:30 now. It took us like 35, 40 minutes to sell soybeans. It'll take us even longer to do these bales, though. Look at all them marshmallows. Heck yeah. What's up, Wordy? How's it going? I guess it's Wordy, right? Or Word. Wordle. Wordy. Let's call you Wordy. Wordy sounds better. Probably saying it wrong, but... Alright, I'm gonna go check these on this side. If these aren't done, we'll go back and do those. We'll go back and start on the other side. I don't quite want to pick these up yet if they're not ready to go. Just lurking around, I hear you. Well, I appreciate you lurking. Yep, those are ready to go. Sweet. We'll start down here and we'll load these into the barn. And I think... We'll check our production. We're going to have to pick up some more mineral feed at some point. We only need 500,000. Well, it's not going to take too many of these to fill the barn back up. But we'll definitely get it filled back up. And then sell the rest of them probably. We've come a long way since stacking these by hand, hadn't we? Man. Not by hand, but with a telehandler. Or the John Deere with the forks on the front. That was before the telehandler, I think. I would still like to get a slightly bigger trailer, but I mean, this one holds 24 bales. That's fairly realistic. If we had 2 of these and we got Jimmy stacking bales with us, that'd be a lot easier, I think, but okay. We'll handle it for now. And eventually, like I said, I want one of the Govile stationaries and a pickup wagon, and we can just back the pickup wagon straight up to it, dump in, and let it make its bales. Do the same thing with, oh dang! Battery, we all heard that, by the way. Battery squeezing out 600 bits. Thank you, buddy. Much appreciated. For the bales, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the 600 bits. Heck yeah. Get some plungers in chat for battery. Thank you, dude. What was I saying? Oh, the Govile. That's right. The Govile stationary, we can put chaff in it too, and it'll just make bales, and we could literally just sit there and stack them down as they come off. Move them over where they need to go. Like I think that's the way to go, really, in the long run. Now, of course, having a big clamp with silage is the long term here. But if we're still doing grass too, out in the field like this with bales, then having one of those stationary balers is probably a better way to go than doing it the other way. Doing it this old way here. One more. There we go. We'll drop these over here. In-game monies. Heck yeah. I'll take them in-game dollar bills. That'll put fuel, well, I won't put fuel. It'll help with the repair costs, though. I've got plenty of fuel, as it were, from my stupidity. Thank you, Celtic Moon, for the in-game cash monies. I appreciate that. All right, let's see where we're at now. That's about 50,000 or so. It's good. May end up with quite a few to sell after all this is said and done. Again, not fast work, but honest work. Yeah, not fast, but honest. Yeah, we should. If we don't, I'll sell like the last 3 rows or something if we don't fill it up. But we should fill that thing up before we get to the last 3 rows. Ideally, that's the way to go. That way we can sell these bales, make some money on them too. We need to be pulling a little money off of every field we work, which I was not doing right away because I wanted to get this thing mostly filled up. But we need to start pulling a little bit of money off of every field. That way we can help pay for upkeep and all that kind of stuff with all different types of equipment. Instead of one funding the other, we need to make enough money for upkeep for each field, basically.
A new follower.
Kiwi Tropics, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. Welcome. But yeah, I think you know, pulling a little profit off each field is probably not such a bad idea. Keep us moving in the right direction anyway. Also, even if we spent the majority of our money, if we could make about another 150 grand or so, that'd leave us about 30 grand to operate money. I'd go ahead and put down another cow pen and start moving some of our calves, or some of our full-grown cow. Oh, we're full. Start moving some of our full-grown cows over to that cow pen out of our small one, out of our 70 cow pen, and we'll keep that 70 just for the calves. Every time we have new calves, we'll move them over to it, and that'll keep our main barn running too. So. Lots of moving around there we can do. Pun intended on the moving. One time I had almost 500k plungers. Now I'm under 100k. What'd you do with all of them? 2 million. You could have had the channel, Bob. You could have bought the channel for 2 million points. Or plungers. I'd gladly let you have it for 2 million. Been watching that long, you earned it. And I think I took that stipulation off, actually, because somebody would hold me to that, and it'd be legally binding, so. How's it going, Spider-Ed? Good to see you. Another drop-off. Gave me 500 a day. I mean, I guess that is kind of costly, isn't it? Like 30,000 or something. I didn't want to make it cheap for you guys because I didn't want you spending all your points doing it, but you've done it anyway. Again, I want it to be as difficult as possible, but still be realistically for the time frame that I play. You know, realistically fit the time frame that I play, but still be semi-realistic and semi-RP. We've kept it that way. I don't think I'm doing anything that's just other than like poking the silage bells with forks. Again, that was something I allowed myself pretty early on. So at 10k, okay, I thought it was like 30k. Yeah, 10k is still a lot though. But again, I didn't want you to just, you know, willy-nilly give me 500 a day. I wanted you to think about it and go, man, that's a lot of points, you know. Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, you got to think about it and go, man, I don't know if I want to spend 10k to give him 500 in-game cash. That's not a lot. So it was the amount and the amount of money I received from it in-game was strictly to deter you from doing it, which is, again, part of the hard mode part of it. So some of you are unfazed. Completely unfazed. All right, what do we got left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows left. Yeah, we're not going to fill it up with this. That's okay, though. We'll still sell the last 3 rows to make a little bit of money off this field. And I don't know if that'll be 24 bales or not. We may just sell 3 loads of bales. This will be our 3rd load to the barn. We'll just split it that way. Now 3 loads will go down to the sell point, and then anything over that will go back into here. So I think that works out. I think that works out okay. Oh, I thought I did that already. My bad. I was sitting there waiting. I was like, how come it's not moving? Well, that would be why. And if you're just getting in and wondering why the title says selling money beans and we're doing this, is because we've already sold all the money beans. All the money beans have been gone. It adds up quick for sure, yeah. Yeah, so the next, this trailer and 2 more will all go down to the sell point. And if we have any left, we'll put those in the TMR mixer. Yeah, we're up to, I mean, that's almost full though, right? Like, it doesn't hold 2 million, it holds 1.8 million, it looks like. So, that's fine. What does it take? 450, 250. I think it holds 1.8. I don't think it holds dead on 2, but I mean that's close enough anyway. Like, to balance it back out, we actually need more hay in here now. So, marshmallows. What's up, Crystal? How's it going? Marshmallows, indeed. We've already sold the money beans. We made like 300 and forgotten now. 308,000, and then 36,000. So like 344,000 or something. All for money beans. Not too bad. Considered as only 259,000. That was loud. Considered it was only 259,000 in money beans. That's Miss Deuce calling. I'll be right back. We'll continue picking up bales and then drive down to the bale sell point. All right. I'm back. I'm about to run off the road. Still running off the road. I've settled back in now. Go. Going to sale. Should be about, what, $4,500 or so per load? It's not going to be too terribly much, but it should be something anyway. So you guys know I played the game only up, right? And I said I wanted to get an under 60 minute run. Well, Gabe posted earlier today in Discord that there's a map for Beam MG Drive that's called Drive Up, and it's only up, but it's Beam MG Drive. I don't think I'm gonna do well at that one, to be honest. I don't know that I'm even gonna try it. It would be fun to try though. All right, you'd think more than that? I mean, maybe. We'll see. Wait, we don't have any sold bells this month, right? Old bells, we do not. Okay. This is probably going to break up several times here. I don't think we're going to be able to keep it running the way they drop. But we did. $14,179 for one. Hey, come back this way. There we go. And then $16.55 for the environmental score. So first load, $14,179, and what was the environmental score? I don't remember what it was now. 1,600. So just over 15,000 per load, then, huh? We should make about 45 grand off of this. That'd be good. That'd be real good. Only up as trials the way you were playing? I mean, I was trying to speedrun it, yeah. I'm trying to get the speedrun lines down for it. Not all of them, of course, because there's no way I can hit some of the skips. Those take like 100 hours worth of practice just on some of those skips, but some of them I've gotten a lot better at since I did that run Tuesday or Wednesday. So, yesterday, was that yesterday? It was yesterday, yeah. I played again yesterday afternoon, and yeah, I ran through the whole first part of the map until I got up to where the like the big skyscraper is or whatever. The windmill is still the killer for me though. That's a run killer, because if you hit the little spinny part on the windmill, it throws you off to the right, so you got to be really careful there. But the rest of it though, I think I'm doing pretty well on. I even took the bed skip again over to the tower instead of like running across all the pipes and stuff. Worked out pretty well. The balloon skip I'll never hit because you have to hit that bed at a precise, like a very precise, like a frame perfect hit on the bed to make the balloon, and there's no way. Sorry about that. Hit my mic with my water bottle. But yeah, I definitely want to try to get a sub 60-minute run though. And if I can get Live Split to download and actually load and work, I'll submit the run. They may not take it, but I'll submit it. Sounds like mini golf though. It's always the windmill, dude. Always. And it's a wind turbine more than it is a windmill, but it's a giant wind turbine is all it is. But yeah, I think I can do it under 60 minutes. Forgot we get this far back up. Yeah, so we'll do 2 more loads to sell, and then we'll put whatever else we can put in there. If there's any left over that won't fit in the barn, we'll just sell them. I don't see any point in holding on to them, so. Like, no point in holding on to these. I'll let them go. Oh, I got a thing in the mail for my truck. I've got my passenger side airbag's got a recall on it. I gotta go take care of that next week at some point. That's always fun because you gotta find a dealership that'll actually do it. So it's the passenger side airbag. The driver's side airbags had a recall on it for years, and I probably should have gotten it looked at. It's free. I don't know why I just don't go get it done. Laziness, probably. Laziness seems like the right answer. About your extended warranty? No, it was legit about my recall on the airbags. I mean, it's a 20-year-old truck, so, you know, it's probably about that time. My truck's almost legal to drink in the U.S. Other countries, it's been legal to drink. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I hope they can get me in next week, but I'm going to call tomorrow because they give you a number to call and they put you in contact with like the closest one or whatever, closest dealership that works on them. So I'm going to give them a call tomorrow and see if we can get a time worked out. Remember the tea? We didn't need to make tea today. We're good. Usually it's 1 gallon about every 3 days or so, 4 days, something like that. And that's if I have more than my usual. Used to, it was 1 gallon a day or more of tea. Like we'd fix it and I'd be drinking tea all day, and then by the Twitch stream in the afternoon, all the tea would be gone. I had to make more, so. I like when they call me about my car. I ain't owned a car in 10 years. It's funny. So the lighting guy I was working with doing the corporate thing, he gets those calls all the time too. And he answered one of them and answered in Spanish. It's funny. Because they didn't know what to say, so they just hung up. Like, that's fun. I'm going to start doing that. Hola. ¿Habla español? Sí, habla español. And then they just hang up. Very funny. We'll start doing that. My truck's been out of warranty for 10 years. Yeah, mine's been out for at least 10. I mean, that's if it had a 10-year, 100,000 mile warranty on it. It's been out for at least 10. I mean, when I bought it, it had 180,000 miles on it. It's got 240 on it now, so. But yeah, I don't know what that thing had when it came out new. Probably a 5-year. But yeah, airbags are dangerous. I don't want to play with that too long. I think I'll get that taken care of as soon as I can. Have over 200,000 on the Camry? Oh, that's still new for a Toyota Camry, man. Seats may be a little worn out, but the engine's probably still running good. Just had the front end rebuilt on it. Nice. That's the whole list of Spanish words Deuce knows. Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I know all the typical stuff, you know, mi casa, su casa, stuff like that. But yeah, I never actually learned Spanish. I never even took a Spanish class in high school, which after I graduated, like the next year, became a requirement by the state to have a foreign language. So never took one. Probably should have. I probably should have taken Spanish. All right, now the 1600 says 3,200 environmental score just for this so far, and 28,000 in sold bales so far. It's pretty good, yeah. And we're right about 31,000 right now on bales sold. That environmental score helps out a ton, man. You wouldn't think, but it definitely helps out. That's 250K? Yeah, I mean, if you take care of a vehicle, it can last you a long time. Like, people look at mileage and go, oh, man, thing's got 150,000 miles on it. It's time to go buy a brand new one for 70 grand. Yeah, no, absolutely not. Go buy you another used one that's got, 70,000 on it or something. Like, absolutely not. Terrible idea. Yeah, almost up to 500K. This is the highest we've been in a while. I think we've only been over 500K once, and we bought a bunch of land, I think. So. Same with smartphones. Yeah, a new one comes out, and everybody's like, oh, I got to go sign that 2-year contract. Give me another phone. Like, I'm still rocking the iPhone 8. Like, I think I went from the 3 to the 8. Before the 3, I had a Nokia flip phone. Before that, I had the BlackBerry. The BlackBerry Pro 2 or whatever it was, BlackBerry 2 Pro. And if BlackBerry would have stuck around, I probably would have went with a BlackBerry smartphone. Just because I like the software that was on them. I wanted the Windows 7 phone, but it kind of fell through. I was hoping they'd come out with a Windows 10 phone, but they never did. So. Most people I know get the newest one every year. Yeah, it's silly, man. I just don't understand why. They just take care of it, you know? Armorbug said I put 100K a year on my trucks once they get to 350. Yeah, 3 to 350K. You move on to another 10-year-old used with low-ish mileage. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, man. Yeah, I've just never seen the point in going and especially for the majority of people, you do not make enough money to spend $60,000 on a vehicle. I'm sorry, but you don't. Like, you don't. You don't make enough money to spend 60 grand on a vehicle.
That's a new follow.
And I'm not telling you what to do with your money. I'm just, like, from my point of view and a realistic thought process, the average person does not make that kind of money. It's just pointless. But, it's your money. Do what you want to with it. Go buy you a $100,000 car. I don't care. Buy you a Bentley. But, I mean, if you're going to spend 60, why not spend 75? Why not spend 80? It's just a payment, right? Doesn't matter. Yeah, if I've never spent more than $5,000 on a vehicle to buy it. Now, yeah, I've done some repairs on my truck now, but I paid $4,500 for it in 2015, and I've probably maybe put $1,500 in it. I put almost nothing in the truck. I've had it since 2015, so. That's why I like the new Rangers, only 30 to 35K. Most people shouldn't even be spending 35 or 30 on a vehicle either. Like if your household makes $50,000 a year and you're spending 35 on a car, that's just way out of proportion for your income. But again, not financial advice, and I'm not telling you what to do with your money. But from my perspective, in my opinion, it just makes zero sense to spend that kind of money on a vehicle if you don't make more than $300,000-$400,000 a year. But I understand too, people want something comfortable to ride in. I get it. But just my opinions. It's not financial advice by any means. I don't want to end up in an SEC lawsuit or something. Not financial advice. It's just weird to me that people overspend on everything. Like, I know people around here that their car costs more than our house does. You know what I mean? Like, and that's crazy town to me, because we live in Mississippi where the median income is like $33,000 a year. And people driving around in $80,000 cars. It's like, are you kidding me, man? Like, I don't know where you work, but there are very few jobs around here that pay $300,000 or $400,000 a year. So you're spending a large portion of your income every year on your car payment. This makes no sense to me. But again, I'm not judging. It's your money. Do what you want to with it. I don't care. I just hate to see people put themselves in that much debt for what, you know? Like, why? Some people do it to keep up with the neighbors, you know, keeping up with the Joneses, as they used to say, which I think is the most ridiculous thing. And some people do it because they're afraid to buy a used car or a high mileage car because they're afraid it's going to break down the moment they crank it up, you know. All right, is this our third trip? This is our third trip, right? Yeah, 28,000. There's not that many bales left. Hopefully they'll fit in the barn. That was the goal, was to do 3 trips and then put everything else in the barn. If they don't fit, I'll take them and sell them. So my yearly income is less than 11K. Bob, I'm not much higher than that. I've made under 20K for years, man. I just don't buy stuff, you know? Like, I don't have any luxury items, but I don't want any luxury items either. You know what I mean? Like, I've never wanted to go kill myself working to make tons and tons and tons of money to go buy crap that's going to break in 5 years. You know, like, I've never seen the point. I've enjoyed my life without having all that stuff. Still take vacations, still take trips, used to go to the casino and have fun, play cards, stuff, but I never had a nice, you know, brand new current year vehicle, and I've never cared to. So, but again, I'm not judging people. Go live your life. You know, if that's what you enjoy, do it. Heck yeah. That's what it's about. I say I'd never. When I worked at Hancock, I was probably making 35. And that was in like 2003, 2004, 2005. 35 a year then to somebody that was 18, 19, and 20 was a lot of money in that area. So, waiting for the bell arm to kick. You see me keep drifting to the left, don't you? Yeah. But yeah, I just think it's silly to spend that much money. So, vehicles get you from point A to point B. They don't need to be, they need to be functional, not flashy. Each their own. Yeah, exactly, Arma. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I like your name too, by the way. That's pretty spot on. I started playing. The whole reason I moved over to PC years and years ago was to play DayZ on Arma 2 mod. Arma's definitely got some bugs. Bought your truck brand new for 16K. Hey, there you go. I'm talking about. And again, I mean, if it's in your budget and you're not struggling to put food on the table, then by all means buy whatever you want to. I just don't like seeing people make things harder on themselves. I think that's where my argument against it comes from, because the more you spend on a car, the more your car payment's going to be, the more your insurance is going to be, and the harder you make it on yourself when there's really no need to. You know, what if it breaks down? What if it breaks down and you're looking at what, $1,500 to fix it? You know, I mean, unless you're replacing the engine, you're talking $3,000 or $4,000, but you know, $1,500 to fix major stuff wrong with it. So, I mean, I don't know. I've never understood. So. Never understood. But again, to each their own. It sounds very preachy, and I get that. A lot of people don't like being preached to about stuff, and I'm just giving my opinion. I'm not telling you what to go do. I think you should absolutely be happy with whatever decisions you've made. And if you're not, I hope you've made decisions since then and changed a little bit to make decisions that make you happy, you know? I was going to try to catch them all at once, but it's not. Trailer's not unloading fast enough. There should be about another 60 or 15K. Yeah, 42,000 sold bales. Pretty good. That's what I wanted. And another 1,600 from that. So 48 4,800 on the environmental score and 42,000 on bails. That's a little more than I expected, honestly. Well, I guess not. I said 45 total, right? So that's about 45, yeah. Pretty good, man. 45,000 and just some extra bails we had sitting around on the field. Now we're talking. We're up above the 500,000 mark again. Half milli. It's working out well. I'll take the rest of those over to the barn, see if it'll accept them. If not, we'll take them and sell them. New front end for your truck was $3,100. I mean, it depends on your vehicle too. I get that. But if it's a crash type deal and you got full coverage insurance, then pay your premium. If it's just parts breaking down, like I had to replace the entire front assembly on my truck, and it was like $300 or something. You know, it's not a full drive. It's old. You know, the parts are pretty common, so. Like the whole hub assembly on mine had to be changed out. Some of you remember the members videos of that rattle that was in the, you could hear in the background. And that's what it was. It was the wheel bearing, and you can't just buy the wheel bearing and press it in anymore. You got to buy the whole assembly. So I just bought the whole dang assembly and put it on. It was like $250, $300, something like that. You had thousands of hours in Arma 3? Yeah. I didn't play in Arma 3 a whole lot. We played a lot of, I mean, I guess I did. We did play a lot of Arma 3 right after it came out. Played a lot of King of the Hill. Back when that was a thing. Back in the midnight gaming days. Midnight Gaming used to run servers for streamers. The Midnight Crew. Gonna catch up with everybody here. Never had a vehicle newer than 15 to 20 years old. And again, hey, if you know what I mean, like if that's what you want to do with your money, that's totally fine. I don't see a problem with it. But for me personally, I don't think I would ever buy a new vehicle. I'm too rough on them. Trucks do hold their value, yeah, especially small trucks too, because they give you gas mileage and you can still haul small stuff around, you know. Like I've just got a single cab, standard bed truck, you know, like it's nothing special. But if I need to go over to if we wanted to do like plant beds or something out back, I could go over to the co-op and get a load of manure dropped in the back of it, you know. Wouldn't hurt my feelings at all, so, which we've done before, and all our crops didn't make it because they got eaten up. But, I need to go to the hardware store and get some lumber. I can throw it in the back of it, so and pull a trailer with it. You know, like I mean, it's just nice to have a pickup. But for me personally, I don't think I'd ever buy anything that costs more than $7 or $8 grand, and I say that because of inflation. So, like my truck still today is worth like $3,500. It's like there's no way anybody's buying that piece of junk for $3,500. And I only say that because the interior on a lot of vehicles, when they're that old, if you leave them out in the sun, the dash starts cracking up, the seats get really worn, you know. Like it still runs good. If it didn't run good, I'd start to worry, but it still runs fine. Air and heat, all that still works in it, so. But yeah, I don't think I'll ever not own a pickup. Even if it's like a small Toyota pickup or something, you know, small Ford Ranger, something, you know, some kind of pickup. I'm always gonna have one, and I'd prefer a full-size pickup, even if it's just a small full-size pickup. It might not take all these, and if it doesn't, we'll just pick them back up and sell them. It might though. I don't know. Now that I'm thinking about it. Oh, nope. Okay. Drop those out there. It did not take them all. I thought for sure it was going to take them. But yeah, again, I ain't judging. You know, drive what you want to. Spend your money the way you want to. It's yours. It's going to be difficult, I think. Somebody told me to talk to my insurance company because my deductible is more than my Trailblazer's worth. I mean, that's kind of where I'm at with mine. Like, I got full coverage on it still. I mean, just because it's, you know, it's worth like $3,000, and you know, if something were to happen and it get totaled, which doesn't take a lot to total a vehicle. I mean, you can hit a, you know, one of the stanchion poles. You know, you hit one of those the wrong way and it goes under your vehicle. Oh, I mean, it's total. You know, it's going to tear up so much, especially with an old vehicle. It would be easier for them to just cut me a check for $3,000 than me worry about it, you know? Going all the way back down here for 4 bales. But I'm going to do it because I need the money. Yeah, J-Rock, I mean, that's the best way to go, really. Just get, I mean, it's called liability here. It would just be, it would pay for the other person's vehicle, basically. Liability insurance. And I think it ties in, like, I think you can get just liability, or you can get liability and uninsured motors. And that's a good combination to have because, you know, there's still a lot of people driving around without insurance, so. Yeah, that's not I don't think there's an insurance company around me that offers that. That's covered under full coverage. So it's either like liability, uninsured motors, or full coverage. And honestly, full coverage for my truck is like, it's so minimal. I pay every 6 months. It's so minimal that I don't even care. You know, I'm just gonna keep it. Now, if we are looking at getting another vehicle, of course, but when we get another one, I may drop it down to liability on mine just because we'll have an extra vehicle if I need it then, you know, until I can get another truck. But yeah, it varies from state to state. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool though to have comprehensive though. That would cover like the act of God stuff, like the natural disasters and stuff too. That's really the only reason I keep full coverage on mine. Because like hailstorms, wind damage, stuff like that. I mean, it's very possible, you know. It's just not worth the trouble. And my deductible's fairly low too, so. You couldn't afford to replace it if something happened, and that's the reason. That's the reason I was just like, you know what? I mean, yeah, it's costing me this much every 6 months, but at the same time, you know, do I have an extra $3,500 laying around to go buy another vehicle? Not really, you know. And I've paid for my truck probably what 4 or 5 times over in just insurance, but it's worth having, you know. Just in case, you never know. Which is why insurance companies like people that are good drivers, because they never have to pay out. Well, if you've only got one vehicle, then you do want it to be dependable and new and low mileage and all that kind of stuff, low maintenance. So that makes total sense, in my mind. Again, not telling you what to do with your money, of course. Not that you need my approval. Getting through there is kind of tricky with that arm still down. Really should be waiting probably, but that's okay. The week you drop full coverage, yeah, that's the reason I'm just like, you know what, I'll just keep it. When we get a third vehicle, I'll worry about it then. But for right now, I don't need it, so I don't need to drop it. When insurance for 6 months is over $100 a month, That's kind of insane in my opinion. Yeah, mine's not near that, man. My insurance is like $40 a month or something. So I mean, you know, and that's for full coverage. So I mean, like mine's insanely low, really. But yeah, so what's funny is I like listening to Dave Ramsey, not because I need the advice for basic spending habits, which is most of his advice. And I don't do investments and stuff, so I don't really need that advice either. I just really like listening to it to remind myself daily why I don't go spend money on stuff that I don't need. Right? It's a really good reminder daily for that, if nothing else. And the amount of people that call in, and I don't know if these are fake calls or whatever. I've heard people say that these are just fake calls. People, you know, it's actors, whatever, call in, whatever. I don't judge the people that call in, and I know they have issues, and I know they're trying to figure it out. They're having money problems and stuff. But it's a good reminder for me on why not to just randomly spend money on stuff that makes no sense, right? Logically think it through. You know how much money is in your bank account, know how much your bills are. Don't spend more than you make, right? That's pretty basic. That's his advice, not mine. No financial advice from me whatsoever. But it's a good reminder for all that, and it amazes me how many people call into that show that have like $60,000 or $80,000 in car debt with 2 or 3 vehicles. And they're making like $28,000 to $30,000 a year, and it's like, why did you spend so much on vehicles? You know, like you got student loan debt, you got mortgage, you got rent, you know, you got kids. Like, why would you spend so much on cars? Like, I'm a big proponent for not taking out student loans. I think it's a waste of money. I gotta straighten these up. These drive me crazy. But, yeah, I don't know. It's just a good reminder for me not to go blow money, really. That Miss Deuce is a good reminder for me not to go spend money I don't have to. Alright, let's straighten these guys up. I can't believe I ran these over the last time I came through. Glad it didn't damage anything. That would have been bad. Again, spending money we don't have on stupid things, like repairs, when they're not needed. What's up, J-Dog? How's it going? Good to see you again. Hope all is well. Hope all is well. I have two teen daughters that drive. I don't want to talk about car insurance price. Arma, I know the feeling. Ours just got her license, so hence why we're looking for another vehicle, which we're going to pay cash for, and put whatever necessary insurance on it to make sure if something happens, she's covered. But yeah, I know the feeling. It's not going to be cheap. We know that. It's definitely not going to be cheap. We may start rolling this. I don't think I'm going to have time to finish it, though. I got about 10 more minutes. So we're going to start working on something else anyway. Flip. Do that number and then center on me. Off we go. Bob said, I go to the store and I'm like, I want one of each. I need none of any. Yes, Bob, that's pretty much it. All good here for the vast majority of the time. That's good to hear. Heck yeah. Nothing wrong with that at all. But yeah, I think a lot of people just don't realize that a slightly older vehicle with 130, 140,000 miles is still going to be a good vehicle. for a long time, right? If you can pay for it pretty quickly or just pay cash for it, you know, like, you're going to save so much more money doing it that way right away. You can put back a lot more and then, you know, maybe even pay cash for a brand new vehicle later. A lot of people are going to make way more money than I make, you know? So, I mean, I don't know. I just hate to see people put themselves in that situation, I guess. This needed to be rolled, for sure. See, the nitrogen level on is bad. Let's see what it looks like over here. Oh, it's still bad. Maybe it takes a month or so. Target, how did I miss your comment? Oh, I missed that one up there. This said Ford made the lower control arms aluminum, so I had to replace them. $500 each. Oof, that's terrible. Yeah, I missed your other comment completely. Oh, no, there it is. My first vehicle I used to get to work had 2 wheels and 2 pedals and 21 speeds. Hey, man, yours had speeds on it, though. you had gears on yours. Yeah, Bob said mine had 1 speed. See, there you go. Yeah, if I had somewhere good to ride, man, I'd like to take my. I got one of those. This guy, it's like a 5-speed, but it's like set up like a California Cruiser. I'd like to go riding mine around more, but there's just nowhere to ride around here safely. People around here drive like idiots. They may not be, but they drive like it. Yes. Yeah, there you go, J-Rock. I think you probably said it right as it was coming out. Yeah, they may not be, but they drive like they are. I mean, people think of Mississippi as like backwoods. Everybody talks like this. Don't nobody know nothing. Can't nobody read. I don't read well out loud. I can read fine to myself. But I don't read out loud well because I'm skipping like 14 words at a time. But everybody thinks we're all just slow down here and we talk like this here and we still use the outside plumbing. You know, and nobody understands that the world has moved on. This is not 1950. Now, I still know a few, but I got family members that still talk like that, sure. But, you know, for the most part, the world has advanced. You know, it's not 1950 anymore. Boy, I tell you what, everybody thinks Mississippi's just Boomhauer, you know? Not the case. You have plumbing? Kinda. Kinda. Son, we're hooked up into them city pipes. We got that city plumbing. And what's funny is those kind of people are everywhere, J-Rock. It's not just Mississippi, man. Like, there's country all over, right? There's country folks all over. It's not just the South. I ran into some of them when I was in Big Flats, New York one time. Camouflage Toyotas sitting out in the parking lot of the gas station. Old boy inside going, "Hey man, did y'all hear about this yesterday?" And of course he had like an upstate New York accent saying it, but the enunciation was the same, you know. He didn't have the southern drawl, but he had the enunciation. It was the same. It was all kind of run together. So, how do boomers change a light bulb? They don't. They just keep talking about how great the old one was. What's up, Bone? How's it going, buddy? To be fair, Bone, I have seen a video about a bulb that was created way back in the 30s that the filament basically couldn't be destroyed by itself. I mean, you'd have to break it, but it was a forever bulb, and they didn't want that because nobody would ever buy any more. They'd only buy one. I don't know how true that is, but the videos seem pretty legit. Like they had their stuff together on it anyway. If it was true. 1 to hold the light bulb, 2 to turn the ladder. Yes, sir. Well, I mean, I don't always assume you're talking directly to me, Bob. Like you were replying to somebody else too there. But yeah, can't be as bad as Indiana drivers. Probably just as bad. There's bad drivers all over the place. And again, I don't think it's because people are dumb. I just think people don't get the right amount of good driving experience with somebody that can help them out and teach them to care about other people on the road. A lot of people don't care about other people on the road. I think that's the main thing. A lot of stuff made in the day was built to last longer. Now it's designed to fail, so you have to buy another. Yeah, exactly. 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 If Tesla would have won, the world would be so much different today. So much different. Why the boomer? Why all the boomer jokes, Bone? You're pretty close. Joking, of course. We all know Bone's a diehard Gen Xer, man. Why'd the boomer cross the street to show how it's done? Yes, sir. Hey, man, I can't wait to get to the point where I'm talking about how good stuff used to be. No, I take that back. I can wait, but I don't care when I get there what people think of me. If I make it to be old enough to complain about everything, then I've done something right. I can wait, though. I'm not trying to rush time by any means. It's already going fast enough. I don't need it to go any faster. I can make fun of myself. At least I laugh at most of my own jokes, yeah. Oh, what? I didn't pick that up until after we hit that. That was weird. Okay, whatever. You know what's funny too, man, is I'm an old millennial, right? So like I'm like a second year millennial. And it's an arbitrary number that they assigned when your birthday was of what generation you're in. But I don't feel like a millennial all the time. But I do realize how millennial my lifestyle is. I get that. I understand that part. But I think today, though, I think we can agree that most of the people running the country are boomers, right? And I don't mean that in a bad term. I just mean they're part of the baby boomer generation. They're all in their late 60s and 70s and 80s, right? And and people that age still to this day are going, oh, millennials just don't want to work. Who do you think are the doctors and lawyers and are running businesses? They're millennials. You know what I mean? Like, you got to keep up with times, and I hope I'm able to do that as the years go on. You know, and it's like you gotta constantly remind yourself of time frame here. Millennials are almost 40, and I know nobody likes to admit how old they are, right? Because it sucks. But at the same time, millennials are nearly 40. The people that are being complained about the most are Gen Zers. Like, that's who you should be complaining about. Quit dragging my name in this. I should be a Gen Xer, but they, for some reason, put me with millennials. So, I don't want to work either, but I got bills. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not too proud to get up and go shovel crap if I have to. You know, like, I'm not too proud to do that. I think that's the difference in the description of a millennial and what a millennial actually is. Like, I don't think it's an age thing. I think it's an area you were raised in kind of thing. You know, how was your household growing up? Were you taught that hard work actually means something at the end of the day? So, I wanted to be like Forrest Gump, but he belongs to Gen A. I wanted to be like Forrest Gump, but he belongs to Gen A. But yeah, I mean, it's just weird though, you know. It's weird. It's a weird thought process to keep up with time because like in my mind, Gen Zers are still like high school students, but they're not. They're graduating college and they've got jobs and they're the ones doing all the stuff today, you know. Like, Gen Zers are in the workforce. They're starting to make their way in the world. They're getting ready to buy a house. They have kids, you know, like it's not all as easy as just saying the generation name. You gotta put an age to it sometimes. And when you do that, you realize how old you really are. And it sucks to do it. This is gonna look really nice when we get a bunch of gravel poured out here, which we desperately need. But just by rolling over some of this loose grass, you can tell how nice this is going to look. We need a barn down here to put stuff in too. Like, we got a place at the other side. We need to start working on that at some point, not right now. At some point in the future, we'll start working on the barn side too down here. So. Millennial Farmer works pretty hard. The Welkers Farms, man. Leg Arms and oh god, what's the smaller brother's name? What's his name? I can't think of his name now. Like, I watch their stuff all the time. I just can't think of his name for some reason. They're both in their 30s, you know, or early 30s, right? They're in their early 30s, I think. I mean, they're both millennials. I know that, and they're a younger side of millennial. They're younger than I am, I think. So, Nick Hollywood, yeah, it's Nick. That's right. I mean, they work pretty hard. Sunny Farms, the son on Sunny Farms, you know, what is he, like 27, 25, 26, somewhere around there? Like, again, I think it's just how you grew up. I don't think it has anything to do with the age range you're in. Now, have times changed for different generations? Absolutely. Absolutely they have, man. Things have gotten a lot easier for everybody, not just for the younger generations, but for everybody. Trying to have this conversation we've been having 50 years ago would have required a lot of letters back and forth, you know, between all of us. We would have paid the post office bills. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, things have gotten a lot easier for everybody. Everybody. Me and my roommate are older than zip codes. Oh man, that's funny. I mean, it's funny because it's true, but it's also funny because I didn't realize that zip codes weren't a thing until 1965. I had no idea. Yeah, generations are based on time. Let's see if I get this right here. Time, social, political, and culture changes. Yeah, Gen X, not Gen A, Gen X. Is also known as the latchkey generation, the MTV generation, or the wall generation. I mean, it's when the Berlin Wall fell. MTV was the biggest thing that was coming out. It changed an entire generation of people, myself included, because I watched MTV when I was a kid. Like, again, you didn't have to be a teenager to grow up with Gen X things, right? Like, I didn't. I was like 9 or 10, and I was still doing all the 80s stuff, you know? 7 or 8 maybe, watching music videos and stuff on MTV. When we got that many channels, we only had like 3 to start with, then we got 27, and then I think we had like 40. But yeah, when MTV was actually music television, yeah. I don't know what the latchkey is though. What is the latchkey? Again, that's showing my millennialness. Some things I just don't know. Solid gold, yes indeed. Taking my son last night, and I like YouTube better than TV. I was talking to my son last night. I was like, YouTube better than TV. You can talk and interact with YouTubers. Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think people realize. Like, people make fun of gamers and streamers and stuff, but I mean, if you go work your 40-hour-a-week job and you come home and you plop down on the couch and you turn on the TV and you're watching TV for the next 3 or 4 hours, couldn't you be watching, you know, IRL streamers just talking about random stuff, doing video reviews on your TV show, and interact with people? Like, to me, that's much more meaningful, having a conversation. It's a much more fulfilled life, being able to talk to folks and engage and conversate, than it is just to pull up Kitchen Nightmares on TV, which I'm going to be watching September 25th, by the way. It's coming back. I love Kitchen Nightmares. But it's much more meaningful than just pulling up the TV and watching it. Now, if you're hanging out with your family and you're joking about the show and you're conversating, that's different. But if you're single and you're going home after your 40-hour-week job and you're just sitting plopping down on the couch and just flipping channels on TV, that's to me, that's so boring, man. When you could pop on Twitch or pop on YouTube and hang out and talk to folks and enjoy it and that kind of stuff. I decided I was going to go ahead and finish this field, by the way. You didn't notice. Only got a couple passes left, so it's just so much more meaningful, you know. Like, the other's like an empty life, and I've lived that life. I've lived that life where I go to work, I come home from construction, you know, throw in a microwave dinner, sit down on the couch, and flip on the TV, see what's on. Like, it's boring. It's so boring. There was no life there, man. I was existing, you know. That's all I was doing, is existing. Both parents worked, so when you got home from school, you had no one home. Yeah, man. Which my mom worked at the school. She was cafeteria lady up until a couple years ago. She retired, but she got off work before I got out of school. So up until I was driving, I was riding with her every day because she worked at the same place I went to school. So, but yeah, she was always home, but she was always gone at the same time. Like, when she got home, she was running around outside messing with her plants, or she'd have to go somewhere pick something up or whatever. So I mean, we were never inside though. Rainy days, we'd go play the Nintendo. You know, but if it wasn't raining, we were outside doing something. Not that that's bad, and not that it's good. I think more sunlight is better. I think that's a proven thing. Sunlight's good for vitamin D for sure. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just don't remember being inside a whole lot. I know I played a lot of video games, but you know, we also have a lot of rainy days down here too. So. Latchkey was when parents gave their kids a key to the house because they weren't home. Oh, both parents work. So, oh, gotcha. Okay, the latchkey generation. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. System where children stayed after school, waiting on their parents to get off work to pick them up. Also, spiked the divorce rate. Wow, I had no idea that was an issue then. Yeah, hey, Pong was the first video game I played, Bob, on the Atari. And again, that's the reason I kind of feel like I'm mixed between Gen X and millennials, because if you were an affluent family, and you're the family of a, you know, if you're a Gen Xer, you likely had money to buy stuff like that, the Commodore 64 and the Atari and all that kind of stuff. When I was 7, I think we had an Atari, and then when I was like 9, we got a Nintendo. So, but by the time I was 9, we had a little more income coming in. So, and then by the time I was, 12, 13 or whatever, we were doing okay. I didn't know that, of course. We still lived like we didn't have anything, but we were doing okay apparently. I think that's that. I'm pretty sure this field's gonna need lime. Yeah, 6.2 is a little low. Did that not make up for the... Does the rolling not help with this? Did I just waste all that time? Oh, it does not help at all, does it? We'll wait till tomorrow and see. Oh, I did not mean to turn that off. Wait till tomorrow and see. What was in the sell page? Oh, man, I so want that tractor right there. That'd be a great tractor to have. I don't think we need it, though. We had real Pong. That's all I played. Yeah, I mean, that was the first thing I played on the Atari. Gen Xers were also the first to have home computers. Roots came out, Watergate. Gen Xers were also the hero generation after 9/11. True enough, but you have to remember, it happened when I was 16, and I had people that were 18 at the time joining the army, and they were considered millennials. So the old millennials and the Gen Xers were the hero generation after 9/11. Again, it's that whatever age year you put in with millennials, some of those really fit better with Gen Xers, and I think I fit. I'm right in the middle. I fit with both. The only reason Watergate was such a big deal, Battery, is because he got caught. I know that sounds so obvious to make a statement like that, but if you consider everything, I would say that there's probably been way worse stuff going on. We just don't know about it. She hates her birthday. I mean, I wouldn't even let it bother me. There's nothing she can do about it. You can't control what goes on in the world. You can only control how you handle it. So, I'd treat it like another birthday. No grunge and hip hop. Hip hop actually started in like '63, man. Hip hop is older than what'd Bob say? Zip codes. Yeah. Yeah, hip hop's been around a long time, dude. It just wasn't very big, but it's been around a long time. Bob and hip hop are the same age. Yeah, I know how kids are. You just gotta let them figure it out, kind of deal. But I mean, at some point I heard that in my life, and I think I was listening to or I was reading a poker book, I think. There's a poker player, and he was talking about all the crap that happened, abusive family and all that kind of stuff, and he learned pretty early on that you can't make people do things, and you can't control what they do. You can control how you react to it. And I was like, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. But yeah, hip hop's been around a long time, man. Gen X is not the 60s to the late 80s, according to the graphs that I saw a couple years ago. It's to 83. I was born in 85, and I'm considered a millennial. So, I don't know. That hose will reach, right? Yeah, there we go. I don't feel like pulling it back over there. I have far less a problem with Watergate than I do grunge music. I mean, it depends on what you consider grunge, right? Like, was Nirvana grunge? Because I like Nirvana. I think Nirvana is probably one of the best things that happened to music. The way they structured songs kind of It reshaped music, really. The way they structured stuff is great. So. 1963, I'm a boomer, right? Yes, you're a boomer, Bob. Yeah. If you have to ask, you're a boomer. I've never got to say that to anybody. This guy right here is going to get put to use soon. Soon enough, anyway. I think we're good. Yes, Bob, you're a boomer. Any birth year, late 60s to 80s is a Gen X. So it's like all the way up to 89? Or is that just to like 81? Like, what's the... Because the one I saw, there was a specific date. It was like 64 to 84 or 63 to 83 or something. I don't remember. But there was a very specific 20 years there that they set it in. But again, I feel more like... I have the attitude of a Gen Xer, but I have the work ethic sometimes of a millennial, you know. But I don't mind getting up and going doing hard work. That's not the issue. I just don't. Well, I don't know, man. I just don't know if I fit in with millennials at all, really. The stereotypical, you know, talked about millennial anyway. It's like, I feel like a lot of. I mean, there's a lot of boomers and a lot of Gen Xers too that don't like capitalism and stuff too. So I mean, I guess it really doesn't matter what age range. Again, it's more how you're raised. So 65 to 80. Yeah, so I've heard 65 to or 63 to 83. I've heard 60 to 80. I've heard a couple different years, but by most of them, I'm Generation Y. That's most of them I've seen. So I guess that would be a millennial. So. We're elder millennials? Yes. Yeah, that's what I said. We're old millennials. Yeah. And we've been talking about that for a while, Soap. I pointed out that, you know, there's a lot of people that are boomers, and I don't say boomers in a bad way. I think if you're lucky enough to live that long and you get to make fun of the younger generation, cool. I don't say it in a bad way. I just mean baby boomers, the legitimate, you know, baby boomer or whatever. But a lot of that crowd, and I say a lot of it, I don't mean everybody. I mean a lot of the people on social medias, which is where you find kind of the more outspoken, less informed ideas, I guess. A lot of those people seem to think that everything is the millennials' fault because they're not working. But in reality, the millennials are the one opening businesses. They're the doctors. They're the lawyers. Like, they're becoming all these things. So it's not really millennials anymore. It's Gen Zers now. And I don't think even Gen Zers are a problem either. I think social media is a problem for everybody. I don't think it has an age specific. I think social media is a problem for everybody. So. Not all areas be the same as they have different culture. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't really generation wise and why bother. I mean, that's probably true enough, Battery. Yeah, that's probably true enough. Yeah. Yeah, more outspoken, less informed. Yeah, and I'm not saying that maliciously. It just if you're on Twitter at all, like, you know, that's the truth. There's so many people out there that are outspoken and not informed at all. So, I follow stuff I like to follow on Twitter, but sometimes some of that gets mixed in. You know, somebody has a random day where they're talking about other stuff or whatever. But you know, it's just kind of weird. What's up, John? How's it going? Hope you're doing well. It's just kind of a weird thought process to put people in a box and keep them there. You know. Where I think it really depends on how you were raised and you know what kind of traits that you were brought up with and that kind of thing. I don't think it has anything to do with age range or anything else. Do I think we all get a little senile as we get older? Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Do I think that we all get a little grumpier as we get older? I probably will. Because I think the older you get, the less you have to put up with, you know, or the less you're gonna put up with, because it just doesn't matter anymore, you know. And I think that's perfectly understandable too. Like I can honestly say at 38, I am not the person I was at 22, because at 22 I was a lot angrier. You know, I put up with a lot less stuff, without having my own say so in it. And now I just don't care, man. I just don't care. I don't care what everybody else is doing. It doesn't matter to me. You know, I think as we get older, we care a lot less about all the trivial crap going on in our life. We're in our 20s. Everything we did was wrapped up in trivial crap, right? Like, that's probably the better way to say it. As you get older, none of that crap matters. You know, and I think that's one of the good things about getting older is you just realize how much time you wasted, but you make up your mind to not waste that time anymore on that kind of stuff. You know, and I think that's a good thing. Every country would be a different tool, too. Not all have the same culture as U.S. Oh, for sure, Bone. Yeah. And again, when I'm talking about this, I'm talking specifically the U.S. because that's all I'm familiar with in the way of age ranges and you know, some subculture stuff, because not all cultures are the same for sure. Why can't millennials take a joke? Because the jokes always hit a little too close to their parents' house. Yeesh. True enough. I've seen a lot of people admit they're millennials on social medias, and then complain because they can't afford a house. And it's like, well, what do you do for a living? Oh, well, I work at McAllister's. You know, I work at the Logan's. You know, it's like, well, what do you do? I bus tables. Do you have another job? No, that's all I do. Like, are you trying to buy a house on a table busser's salary? You're not going to be able to do that. You know, like. And I'm not making fun of people that do that. They're absolutely appreciated it from my point of view.
That's a new follower.
But you can't just do the minimum and expect the maximum, though. You know, like, it's so weird. The thought process is so weird to me. So, but whatever. Tyler USA, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. It's just such a weird train of thought. I guess I don't know, because. Like, if I wanted something extra or something big, I would go work more, you know? But I don't. I don't have a whole lot of, you know, if I'm paying the bills and the kids fed and we got a little, you know, we got a little plan for the future for college or whatever, I'm cool. You know, like I'm not trying to buy a mansion on the beach somewhere. I don't care. I don't like the beach that much. It's too sandy. That crap gets everywhere, man. But, yeah, I mean... Honestly, I'd do the opposite. I wouldn't even live in the mountains. I would just go out west somewhere and find a forest to live in. That would be my preference. River or lake or something nearby. Maybe like the Northwest even, out in like Washington State somewhere. You didn't have to put up with bears, which I don't like, but yeah. Well, Fortune is modernizing to reach more millennials with new rules. Instead of buying a vowel, they have to rent it. Nice. Oh, man, some of those millennial jokes are fantastic. Paraphrase Ron White. When I was young, if you wanted knowledge, you had to go to a place called the library. I don't know, that's my best Ron White impression. That's all I can do. But, yeah, good conversation. We got a lot done. I didn't expect to get that field rolled, even though I don't think it mattered. I really don't think it mattered, because it's not showing up. No, wrong one, this one. Not showing up here that it actually mattered, so. Everything else is taken care of. The cows are done. We filled up. Yeah, they're done. We filled up our TMR shed with silage bales, and then we sold a bunch. We made a bunch of dang money today. I think we had like $119,000 when we started. We got $511 now. Let's go check the finances real quick. $392,000 is what we made today total. That's pretty good. $308 in harvest income, so that's soybeans for 259,000 liters. We had 43,900 in sold bales, and then we had 41,687 in environmental bonus. So over 40,000 environmental bonus. That's pretty dang good. But we made $392,289. We're going to go and sleep till tomorrow. Heck yeah. At least I caught the end of the stream and you went longer too. I did, yeah. I did. The reason I went away and went a little longer today is because, well, we don't have dinner plans and Miss Deuce is still a ways out from being home. So I knew I had time, basically. I didn't have to have dinner, you know, started or planned or prepped or whatever. So, but yep. Yep. 85% of millennials struggle with figuring out the opposite of these words. Always coming, take me down. I fall in that 85%. Rick rolled, it should be attributed to the Gen X generation, honestly. There's Miss Deuce. Well, that'll do it for today then. Let's check the store real quick. I'll answer her in a minute. Nothing we need, of course. Dang. All right. Well, I'll see you guys. Have a great morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you are. I hope you enjoyed. If you're watching later on YouTube, remember you can come hang out with us for the live stream and get involved in the conversation. You can just leave a comment down below. I'll still comment on it. I'll read every comment across all 3 of my channels. I appreciate y'all, and I will see y'all in the next one. Later, folks.